So our next question is, help. I need more people to help manage my booth. How can I get volunteers? How can I go about staffing my exhibit?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I haven't experienced this one personally. Um, I would think start with the information tent and the Imagine group and see, or the impact group, and see what they suggest because they may very well be some volunteers around that could help you staff it. If nothing, if no longer than for just you as an individual to take a bio break or go get some lunch. So, but yeah, I personally have not experienced this one, so I'm really not sure.
Yeah, so I think in past festival days, the Imagine team has different volunteers that are walking around the entire site. And if you actually are running out of volunteers or you need to take a break or whatever the case is, you could definitely go to the Imagine information, ask a volunteer. They should be able to help man your activity, help man your booth until things are figured out and situated. So definitely don't, hesitate to reach out to the Imagine board, the Imagine team, anyone on festival day for a little bit of assistance.
Absolutely. We do have staff and volunteers there day of to help you. We'll be walking around in t-shirts, we'll be marked. So just grab us if you need help. That being said, our volunteers are going to have a lot of jobs day of already. So we don't want all of them to get pulled to exhibits. So we really encourage you to staff your booth with people from your own organization as much as possible. Try to get enough people where you can work in shifts. That way, everyone gets to have a break. Everyone can experience the festival. If you desperately need volunteers, you can't find enough, you can't staff them from your organization, there are a couple websites you can look into. There's United Way, Hands On Connect, and volunteermatch.org. So if you're desperate, you can check those out. Our next question is asking about lunch and bathroom breaks. So I want to ask our panelists, were you guys able to walk the festival site and have a break in past years, or were you just slammed the whole time?
So speaking from my experience, the way that our booth set up were set in shifts. So we were able to take breaks, walk around the festival, check out other events. It's very cool to check out other companies and some of the activities they have on. But the way we handled it is we had, 2 to 3 hour shifts that we would come in and man the booths. We got enough volunteers from company in order to have 3 to 4 people, possibly even 5 people at the booth at all times. So that way you can walk around, use bathrooms, check out the entire festival. And I definitely recommend having some sort of setup that is similar to that.
Exactly. That's exactly how we handle it. When we're asking for our volunteer list to begin with, we already have created shifts because that's part of the in my opinion, at least for those of us who tend to work a lot of our exhibits like this, is part of the expectation of volunteering and being there. And that's to go see what other people are doing so we all can gain and learn from each other, And so as part of that, yeah, every one of our volunteers has an opportunity for bio breaks, lunch breaks, as well as time just to engage the other exhibitors throughout the event.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah, we want everyone to be able to experience it. We want everyone to be able to see all the fun things happening at the festival and get breaks. So there will be public restrooms around the festival site. So there's the courtyard next to the visitor center, which is near where the Ice on Main location was over there by City Hall. There's more public restrooms around Falls Park. If you take the elevator next to Spill the Beans, there's some behind the Peace Center near the Weish Pavilion. So lots of places around the city where there's public restrooms. And then Imagine will also be bringing in some portable toilets, and those will be all along the festival site with hand washing stations. So there will be restrooms galore for you guys to use if you need to. So next question is, approximately how many volunteers should be running the exhibit at one time? What do you guys think?
It's totally going to depend on how you set up your exhibit. I've seen as few as 2 people in a 10 by 10 running their setup. And then I know for us here at BMW, we usually have about 8 to 10 at any given time running ours. It just depends on the activities and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think the activity definitely, kind of depends on how many people you need running it, watching it, making sure everything is safe. I would recommend, probably 3 to 4, but also, I mean, if your activity is easy enough, 2 people, I can definitely see. But I would always encourage at least more than, or at least 2 or more, because then if something happens, someone can take a break, walk away, and then obviously, you'll have someone to man the booth at that point.
Exactly. Thank you guys for your insight. So what we recommend is at least 2 volunteers for every 10 people visiting your booth at any given time. I know that's kind of hard to estimate, but basically the more the merrier. You always want to be able to have too many rather than not enough, especially when it gets super busy at your booth. But like our panelists said, if you have a smaller exhibit, 2 people might be enough. If you have a larger exhibit, you might need to have closer to 10. So totally depends on what you're doing and how involved your activity is. And again, try to get enough volunteers so that everyone has a chance to take a break or you can work in shifts. So we've mentioned that multiple times, but we do think it is very important to be successful on festival day.